Hello, welcome to jessieathome.com. Today we are going to learn how to make this spiral scarf out of the net yarn. I know there's lots of patterns out there. I looked at a lot of them. I tried many different ways of making these, and I found that some of them were either taking me way too long to make, or they wouldn't spiral completely around the way I wanted. I wanted something that spiraled all the way around. So I eventually came up with this pattern. And as you can see, it does spiral around. The stitches actually spiral around, so you can't untwist it. You're not going to find a flat spot in this scarf. It's still a decent length, and it's got a nice fullness to it. This is what I was looking for in the pattern, so I'm now going to share this pattern with you. As far as it's something I came up with, that doesn't mean that no one else has ever come up with it before. But since I haven't seen it anywhere else, I'm going to take the time to share it with you. You start off with your net yarn by tying a knot. Okay? When you're all done, you can certainly clip this a little closer to the knot. Maybe toss a few stitches in there with needle and thread to make sure the knot doesn't come out. I like to kind of fold it up and toss some stitches in so that the ends are completely tucked under. But honestly, even if you just cut it about here, then you're not going to see those ends inside all of the ruffles. Once you've tied the knot, it's time to start working on your scarf. Now, in case you're not really familiar with this net yarn, you can see all the net yarns have the same basic anatomy, even though they're each a little different. The different brands and different styles have different decorative items about them and different sizes of the nets. They've got the same basics, which is the top part is this net, the bottom part is something decorative. So we are, for this pattern, only concerning ourselves with the top part. Okay, we are concerning ourselves with these very top loops. Some patterns have you work into this loop, not this one. This pattern, we're working into the top loop. We're actually working into every other top loop. Okay, so to start off, you grab the first top loop you can, as close to the knot as you can get. Okay, and now, like I said, we're going every other. So you're going to skip one, and you're going to actually chain 6. So here is 1. Skip 1. 2, skip 1, 3. This goes much faster when there's not a camera between you and your work, and when you've really got the hang of it and you've unrolled a bit of your yarn. 4, and untangled it. It does tend to spiral up on you. 5, and 6. Okay, now what you want to do is straighten that out so all of the ruffle falls down to the same spot. Wrap it around a circle. You want to count that you have 6 loops. 1, not counting the loop on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going to go into the back of that 6th loop, which is actually the first one that you did. And you're going to slip stitch. So you're going to skip 1, pick up a loop, pull through. And now you're just going to continue with that. You're going to go into the back of the next stitch, put your hook through, skip 1, and pull through both. Go into the back of the next stitch, skip 1, grab a loop, pull through both. Back of the next stitch, skip 1, grab a loop, pull through both. And you're just going to keep doing this. Okay? Try not to miss any stitches. Back of the next, skip 1, pull through, back of the next, skip 1, grab the next one, pull through. It just keeps going until you've only got a couple inches of yarn left. Okay, once you have a couple inches of yarn left, you pull the remainder of the yarn through the loop on your hook and you sew it down. Occasionally what I like to do is count to make sure I have the right number of stitches. Not counting the loop on my hook, there should be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Then that is where I need to work. It's really easy to accidentally pick up an extra stitch or lose a stitch. So if you found you've done that, just fudge it. If you have 7 stitches, skip one. If you have 5 stitches, just kind of pick up an extra bit from somewhere as you're going around. Make sure you get back to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The reason I like that is I have found that 6 stitches going around in my spiral and working into every other loop of my net provides me with a scarf that has a nice amount of fullness to it, but it's still a good length. It has worked so far with every variety of the net yarn that I have used. That is not to say that I have used every variety of net yarn out there. It's also not to say that my tastes are the same as yours. But this is what I have found works, so this is what I do. When you're done with the entire scarf and you've tied off both of your ends, you do want to give it a little bit of a tug, because as you're working, it kind of pulls itself tight. This one's already been tugged, but you'll find when you give it your little tugs, it will grow a little bit after you've made it. Okay? So there you have it, how to make a spiraling net scarf with crochet. Once you really are comfortable with this, it does work up fairly quickly.